10-year, or the bond companies, I guess, will not let them provide that long of an extended warranty. But we did get a 5-year warranty out of them. And
yeah, 5-year extended warranty.
Yeah, 5-year extended warranty.
Right?
That's right.
Outside of the
coding. Yeah, that's for the application or the workmanship that goes into to putting it on the tank. And so we were able to get that extended warranty from the contractor, and then also we're upgrading the coating from what the base bit coating was, which is a good coating, but to a coating that will have an extended, what I would call gloss retention and an anti-fade. A lot of water towers that you'll see that get built first couple of years, they look pretty nice, and then after that they look like they're just kind of dull. And this material or this coating that's going on there has that additional UV protection in it and gloss retention, so it'll look
15 years.
Really nice, 15 year, correct. And so I think overall, I think it's going to be a great project, and can't wait.
I have a question. Since we don't have houses immediately around it, and I thought reading that they would put some kind of tarp on the ground anyway when they're doing the blasting, do we really need to have this tent thing for $25,000?
The contractor was really concerned, being that it was next to the, I guess, to the wetland and that type of thing, that just if there was any wind or anything like that, that would be blowing into that area and possibly contaminating it, and so they were concerned about that. And also with the park being right there, they were concerned about making sure.
He said the IEPA loves to come out and parents love to call because it's by a park, so he was very hesitant about whether he would do the job even at all if there wasn't containment. No, I understand. It's a good question, because that was going to be my explanation, because we have some additional costs here. The bottom line is we budgeted $200,000. We're looking at this for $228,000. Now, granted, we have a couple upgrades here, but even so, it's still more money than we budgeted. Now, the other thing that we haven't touched on, and I hope everybody realizes from reading it, the other recommendation with this bid, and the reason why this bid was lower, is because this vendor asked for us to wait till spring of 2013 to do the project. And so he made the pricing more attractive. That opens a couple things, which I was going back and forth with Kelly, our treasurer, today, and our auditor, because we did budget money this year. Now, we've spent a little bit of that money on engineering and prep already, so we have a little less than $200,000. And if we accept this, if you notice this is over, it's almost $230,000. So if we were doing this year, we would have to go back and redo our appropriation ordinance. However, after talking to Kelly and our auditor, as long as we accept doing the work and we say that the vendor will not start until May 1, then actually we will move this to next year's budget. And then this will not show as a liability because we didn't do any of the work in this budget year. There will simply be a footnote at the audit that explains why it was moved to the next year. So I just want to make that clear to everyone.
And then we can add the difference.
Well, it's a whole new budget, right? And you're starting over.
Right.
Yeah.
The reason for the tent too was that he's going to use a little over 60 tons of abrasive to sandblast that thing. So as much as even if you get it out,
you don't realize how much abrasive it takes.
You're going to get some blow up on 60 tons.
We'll have a beach.
Nice black sand beach.
I don't think you're you want to use this for a beach?
No, I don't think so.
Rick, just, have you worked with Jetco before on different projects and different around here?
Yeah, we just did the tank in Lakemore with them.
Which I have a lovely picture to pass around,
Right.
because they did a nice job.
I wanted to say that for the residents, that we have seen the work.
Yes.
And,
That's pretty, isn't it?
And that's that high gloss coating.
Right.
Ours will be nice.
Yeah, ours will be nice.
Yeah, will be.
It's got a nice logo.
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, we can leave it up
Yeah,
there.
You can pass us around.
If you want, George, want to say it?
Okay, so Kathy is correcting me, and I wasn't sure, we can do the vote with 4 trustees here, so, okay, all right. Well, there's majority and then there's regular quorum, so, and they keep changing the laws on us. Okay, is there any further questions, or is everybody okay with the spring? I think it's worth it now that we understand it worth doing.
Yes.
Okay, do we have a motion for accepting the bid?
So,
Second.
And they're doing some inside stuff too, right? They're doing some interior.
Yes, this includes the interior as well.
Oh, this is Laura Lakemore?
yeah.
Okay, so you have your motion and second? Okay, any further discussion? Roll call?
Trustees Dernoski,
Aye.
Priest,
Aye.
Duberstein, and Wackington.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, next item up is a request that I received from the Cranberry Lake North Association. If you remember, last year we went and dealt with a situation with their hardship rental exceptions, and we worked to establish a procedure, and that worked out well. But in the past couple months, I have had Don Hayden, the association president, call me because they have a desire to simplify it even more. And my response to him has repeatedly been, that's fine, but that's really for them, the association, to do. And if they want to change, you know, their bylaws, they need a majority vote on that type of issue. And I encourage him to speak to the attorney about doing that. And I know that those are difficult things to do and it's time consuming, but it can be done. It does also cost money, attorney's fees, and then whoever else you hire with it. But anyway, Don talked to me recently and said he had talked to an attorney. This is a different attorney they've been working with recently. And the attorney felt that the village could waive, or at least temporarily waive, the requirements. And I was still very hesitant on this because I didn't see how the village could possibly ever have the right or authority to bypass somebody's right to vote. But I finally told him that that's what your attorney said, then have your attorney write a letter to the village stating what his opinion is and what specifically that you are requesting, because I thought perhaps I'm missing something and I'm not seeing the forest through the trees or whatever. So you have provided to you a copy of that letter. And if you notice, the letter does request that the village waive certain rights. But it does not really give a legal opinion on what we're doing to the rights of the individual property owners of that association. And I showed it to Jim Rock, our attorney, and he felt the same way. Why would the village waive that? We don't really have the authority. It's an easy fix for the association board to maybe make it simple for them. But those who purchase property and like those bylaws the way they are, have now had the opportunity swooped away from them to vote to change or keep it the same. So, I am coming back with the answer of, I'm sticking to my guns, and this letter was addressed to the mayor and the board, and that's why I'm sharing it with you, but I think our answer still is, no, we are not going to temporarily waive anything. If you want to change, or you feel you have enough residents that want to change, you need to spend the time and energy and money, if it takes money, to do your majority vote.
And we had Jim send us an opinion.
Yeah,
and he concurred. He said, if I understood it right, that should we decide to do this, that we could be open to legal action by
Absolutely.
residents who doesn't think that we should have had the right to take their vote away. So we do have a legal
The
opinion.
association board can say, don't blame us, blame the village, and they could certainly blame us.
But I think we have to abide by the legal recommendation of our attorney.
Well, I think we have to abide by their.
Well, it's also, I have owned a townhome myself, and, you know, and you know what, we were sent a vote. I also went back and forth with the association board. I said, you can even, if this is more time consuming and again more money legal wise, but your attorney can draft the vote proxy to say, if the resident doesn't respond at all by a certain date, then they have, you know, voided their vote. There's ways to handle those things. So I just wanted to share the communication with the board because the letter was addressed to all of us, hearing your opinion, but I will be drafting a letter with Jim Rock saying that we still feel it is their obligation to take care of this among their members.
So is this granted?
That's a separate issue. That's the following the procedure that we've, Gary's asking about under the omnibus, we approved a hardship waiver. That's the current process, where they've had the unit on the market for 6 months. You know, they've gone through their board, and then it came to us. They want to bypass that. The board, the association board, wants the right to approve the hardship rentals themselves and not require that being on the market for 6 months. Also, if you notice, the item that we gave is one of the units that's owned by one of the association board members, because they own 2 units. But they did follow the current procedure. Yeah. Any other comments on that? Other than I will have a letter drafted and everyone will be commenting on that.
Do we need to vote on it?
No. Okay, next item up is video gaming, continued discussion. In your packets, I provided a list of a lot of municipalities in our
Do
area.
we have to do this first?
That was under the omnibus.
Oh, sorry.
We did.
Okay.
Okay, I enclosed a list of the municipalities that have either banned video gaming or have allowed it, and a few just fall back on the state statute. And then I also included some frequently asked questions about video gaming and how it works with the state for whatever that's worth. Lake Zurich recently banned, that happened recently since our last handout. Antioch did vote to allow it. As I mentioned before, Gurney has banned it. Wadsworth's banned, Lake Forest is banned, Vernon Hills is banned. Round Lake Heights falls back on the state code still at this time.